Hello, I'm Dr. Eric Bregg, a medical professional dedicated to providing evidence-based care and supporting patients in achieving better health and long-term well-being. All right, let's dive deep into something that quietly torments millions of men around the world, and yet barely anyone talks about it openly at the dinner table. It is called benign prostatic hyperplasia, but don't let that fancy medical mouthful scare you. Let's break it down nice and easy. The word hyperplasia simply means enlargement, a swelling, a puffing up of tissue that should be small and well-behaved. So when doctors throw this big, bulky term at you, what they really mean is that your prostate, that tiny little gland tucked deep inside your body, has decided to grow way bigger than it should, and now it is causing chaos in your daily life. And believe me, the chaos is real. We are talking about that frustrating moment when you stand in front of the toilet and the stream just doesn't have the punch it used to have. It feels weak, slow, sometimes almost lazy, like a garden hose with a kink in it. You finish, you zip up, and then boom, a few extra drops sneak out and dribble down where they shouldn't. You sit down, you stand up, and there's this nagging little whisper in the back of your mind telling you that your bladder isn't truly empty. That feeling alone is enough to drive any man crazy because it interrupts sleep, ruins road trips, sabotages romantic moments, and chips away at your confidence one drop at a time. Now here's the wild part. I'm not just going to leave you hanging with the bad news. I'm going to share one powerful drink, a simple little remedy you can sip on every single day that can actually help shrink that swollen prostate back down toward its normal cozy size. But hold on, before we jump into the magic potion, we need to understand the deeper mechanism, because if you don't understand why this monster shows up in the first place, you'll keep feeding it without even knowing it. Knowledge is the real medicine here, and the remedy is just the cherry on top. A massive number of men, as the candles on the birthday cake start piling up, slowly slide into this condition, and some unfortunate souls go even further down the road and develop prostate cancer. That's a scary word, I know, but we are going to face it head on in this video, because pretending it doesn't exist won't make it go away. So let's talk anatomy for a second, nice and simple. Picture this. You have your urinary bladder, that little balloon sitting low in your pelvis, holding the liquid your kidneys filtered out. Coming out of the bottom of that balloon is a slender tube called the urethra, and that's the highway your urine travels down on its way out of the body. Now, sitting right around that tube, hugging it like a stubborn ring, is your prostate. When everything is healthy and happy, that prostate is small, soft, well-behaved, and minds its own business. But when it starts swelling up, things get ugly fast. It squeezes that little urethra tube, choking off the flow like a fist tightening around a straw, and it doesn't stop there. It can grow so large that it pushes upward into the bladder itself, eating away at the precious space your bladder needs to hold urine. Suddenly, the tank that used to comfortably hold a normal load can barely manage half of it, and you find yourself sprinting to the bathroom every hour, sometimes even in the dead of night when the rest of the world is sleeping peacefully. Now here is where the story gets juicy, and most men get the wrong idea. You probably think the villain in this whole mess is testosterone. After all, testosterone is the loud, muscular, manly hormone, right? It must be the one causing the prostate to bulk up. Wrong. Dead wrong. The real troublemaker hiding in the shadows is estrogen. Yes, estrogen, the hormone you usually associate with women. Here's something that will blow your mind. All of the estrogen circulating in a woman's body and all of the estrogen circulating in a man's body actually originates from testosterone. That's right, estrogen is basically a byproduct of testosterone. It's like estrogen is the smoke and testosterone is the fire. And to turn that testosterone into estrogen, your body uses a sneaky little enzyme called aromatase. This enzyme is the silent saboteur. It is manufactured by your testicles, but it is also pumped out generously by your fat cells. Read that again. Your fat cells are little estrogen factories. The more fat you carry, especially around the belly, the more aromatase you produce, the more estrogen you generate, and the more your prostate suffers. That is foundation number one, lock it into your brain. Now, foundation number two, excess estrogen is what swells up your prostate. This is the punchline most men never hear. While testosterone naturally declines with age, estrogen creeps upward year after year, sneaking higher and higher like a tide that never goes back out. And estrogen is an anabolic hormone, which is a fancy way of saying it makes things grow. It loves to enlarge tissue. So when estrogen rises and testosterone falls, you have the perfect storm for a prostate that just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Here's another curious little nugget that most people never hear about. The estrogen sitting inside your prostate, what doctors call intraprostatic estrogen, is not directly connected to the estrogen floating around in your bloodstream. That means you could take a blood test, see normal estrogen levels, and walk out of the doctor's office thinking everything is fine, while your prostate is secretly drowning in its own private pool of estrogen. Sneaky, right? On top of that, estrogen also cranks up another hormone called prolactin, and prolactin loves to puff up the prostate even more. It's like estrogen is the boss, and prolactin is its loyal henchman, both working together to make your life miserable. Now let's clear up a huge misunderstanding that floats around the internet. People hear the word phytoestrogen and they panic, like eating a handful of seeds is going to turn them into a different person. Relax, take a deep breath. Phytoestrogens are plant compounds that gently mimic estrogen, but the key word here is gently. We are talking shockingly weak compared to the real human estrogen swimming inside your body. If you put human estrogen on one side of the scale and plant estrogen on the other side, plant estrogen is roughly 10,000 to 140,000 times weaker. Yes, you read that right. Tens of thousands of times weaker. So when somebody warns you that pumpkin seeds, saw palmetto, or a little organic soy will flood you with estrogen and turn your body upside down, they are simply not looking at the numbers. It is almost impossible to become estrogen dominant from eating these plant foods. The only caveat is soy, because most soy on the market is genetically modified and soaked in chemicals. So if you go that route, always choose organic, always choose non-GMO. But here's the twist. The remedy I'm about to recommend is not pumpkin seeds, it's not saw palmetto, and it's not soy. I'm going somewhere far more powerful and far more underrated. The whole strategy revolves around shutting down that troublemaking enzyme we talked about earlier, aromatase. If you can naturally calm down aromatase, you produce less estrogen, your prostate stops being fed the fuel it craves, and slowly but surely, it can begin to shrink back to a more normal size. So now the big question is, what cranks aromatase up and what shuts it down? Let's tackle the bad guys first. Age unfortunately ramps it up. As you get older, your body just naturally makes more of this enzyme, which is one of the reasons older men struggle with this condition far more than younger men. Body fat also ramps it up, which is why dropping extra pounds is not just about looking good in the mirror, it's about reclaiming your hormonal balance. Insulin is another massive driver. The higher your insulin, the more aromatase you produce. And this is exactly why men on high-carb, sugary, processed food diets often end up with prostate problems. If you switch to a healthy keto lifestyle, you naturally crush insulin. And by crushing insulin, you crush aromatase. Diabetics and people slamming down carbs every day are basically pouring gasoline on the fire. Alcohol is another offender. And I hate to be the one to break it to you, but those evening drinks add up. Alcohol boosts estrogen production and cranks up aromatase at the same time. Then we have whole grains, the so-called heart-healthy darlings that the food pyramid kept shoving down our throats for decades. Surprise, they too can elevate aromatase. And finally, hormone replacement therapy or birth control pills also bump up this enzyme because external estrogen feeds the whole loop. Now for the good news, let's talk about the natural warriors that knock aromatase down. First and foremost, cruciferous vegetables. We are talking kale, broccoli, cabbage, arugula, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, the whole crunchy family. These vegetables contain powerful compounds that help your body break down excess estrogen and quiet down aromatase. Make them a daily habit, not a once-a-month afterthought. Second on the list, white button mushrooms. These humble little fungi are surprisingly mighty, but you must saute them first. Eating them raw won't give you the benefit because the heat unlocks their hidden compounds. A simple pan, a splash of olive oil, a pinch of salt, and you've got yourself a prostate-friendly side dish. Third, flaxseed. I know, some people are going to argue that flax raises estrogen, but the research actually shows the opposite when it comes to prostate health. If the conflicting information stresses you out, You can read the studies yourself or simply skip flax altogether because honestly, it is not the strongest remedy on the list. Fourth, green tea. That gentle, earthy cup of green tea contains catechins that help inhibit aromatase, plus it floods your body with antioxidants that protect your cells from damage. Sip a couple cups a day and you are doing your prostate a serious favor. But now, drumroll please. Here comes the absolute king of this entire video, the remedy I want you to focus on more than anything else. Citrus peel. Yes, the part of the lemon you usually throw straight into the trash without a second thought. The peel of a lemon is loaded with extraordinary compounds that not only inhibit aromatase, but also deliver a long parade of other benefits for the prostate and for your entire body. We are talking compounds that calm inflammation, support detox pathways, feed your gut, and protect your cells. In fact, the peel of a lemon contains roughly 5 times more nutrition than the juice itself. 5 times. Let that sink in. All these years you've been squeezing the juice and tossing the gold straight into the garbage. Not anymore. So here is the simple ritual, and you can do this at any time of the day, morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever fits your schedule. Grab 1 whole lemon, organic if you can find it, because you are about to consume the peel and you don't want pesticides hitching a ride. Toss the entire lemon, peel and all, into a blender. Pour in a tall glass of water. Hit the button and let it whirl for about 30 seconds until everything turns into a creamy, frothy, golden mixture. If the tartness is too sharp for your taste buds, sweeten it gently with about 5 to 10 drops of liquid stevia, which won't spike your insulin or sabotage your progress. Or, for an even tastier twist, throw in half a cup to a full cup of blueberries, which themselves are loaded with prostate-protecting antioxidants. Blend it all together, pour it into a glass, and sip it like the powerful little potion it truly is. You can drink it with or without the blueberries, whatever your taste buds prefer, but the lemon peel is the non-negotiable hero of this drink. Remember, the entire goal is to slash aromatase, lower estrogen, and restore that healthy ratio where testosterone stays comfortably higher and estrogen stays politely lower. So if you stack everything together, you lose weight with a healthy keto lifestyle, you keep insulin nice and low, you load up on cruciferous vegetables, you saute some white button mushrooms, you sip green tea, and you drink your daily lemon peel shake, you are throwing absolutely everything you can at this problem in the most natural, sustainable, side effect-free way possible. And the beauty is, none of these steps require a prescription, a procedure, or a hospital visit. They simply require consistency, patience, and the willingness to treat your body like the temple it actually is. There are also some truly fascinating bonus benefits of lemon peel that go far beyond the prostate, touching everything from your heart to your skin to your immune system, and I'll guide you toward more on that in just a moment. For now, just remember this. Your prostate didn't get into trouble overnight, and it isn't going to bounce back overnight either. Give your body time, feed it the right signals, starve aromatase of its triggers, and water the natural pathways that bring balance back. Stick with this routine for weeks and months, not days, and you will likely notice your stream becoming stronger, your nighttime trips fewer, your confidence returning, and that nagging sensation of an unfinished bathroom visit slowly fading into memory. So go grab a lemon, fire up the blender, raise a glass to your future self, and take back control of a part of your body that you may have ignored for far too long.